Hey everyone, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. It's Saturday, October 28th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do a live stream edition of rapid fire news updates for the period October 21st to the 27th. If you're not familiar with these new videos and this new format, essentially we just go over a high level overview, not to go into deep details, but go over all of the important updates that transpired over the last week. And then if you want to dive deeper and read more about it on your own time, then you can do so. But I'm going to try to keep these videos around 10 to 15 minutes. But it's been a while since I did a video. And let me know in the comments or in the live chat if you enjoy these new videos, this new format, if there's anything that you would like to see on the channel, if you'd like to see more of. Always love hearing from you, but we'll get started. Make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell to be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. Also, just as a quick update, I did have a fall, and I get a lot of comments. Really do appreciate all of the concern and just people just inquiring if I was okay. Feeling better. I had a pretty big smack to the head there and had a pretty big bump on the side of my temple. So everything's better now, and excited to be back at it. I'm also in the process of moving myself, my girlfriend as well, and then getting a couple of condos ready for some tenants. So it's been a busy week and still in the process of moving, but it's going to be a spotty week probably coming up ahead as well. We do have a lot of earnings coming up, a lot of catalysts. So hopefully over the next week or so, I'll be back to my regular routine. You can give us a follow over on X as well, which is previously Twitter, and the handle for that is @GroupPow. I had a lot of people asking why I didn't post so much on X, and that's because a lot of it is censored, and a lot of people are getting banned and just shadow banned or just outright banned from the platform. So a little iffy with regards to that, but most of my energy and time has been going into the Pow Group private community. So the paid members, that's where I post most of my research and charting and things like that and spend most of my time. But I'm going to be looking to incorporate a little bit more X posts as well. So you can stay tuned for that. Also, I want to share with everybody, we have a sponsor for this video. It's called Moomoo. This is an app that I want to share with everybody. You can take your investing game to the next level. You can buy US stocks. It's founded by a NASDAQ-listed fintech with over 20 million users worldwide, and it provides visualized data over 100 indicators and other analyzing tools, all for free, and you can use it to trade US stocks now. So the fees are low as well, and the trading hours are long, which I like as well. You can 16-hour trading window, so 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., and you can use it on a desktop, phone, or a tablet. And you can open your account today with the link in the description. I'll put it in the comment section as well. You will receive $30 cash coupon for funding your account. And full disclosure, I do get a kickback on that as well. And nothing in this video, by the way, is financial advice. So entertainment and informational purposes only. And there's the disclaimer as well from the Moomoo sponsorship. So we'll run through this. Again, I know normally I don't do these videos live stream. I wanted to come on and just spend maybe 30 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. So today's video will be a little bit longer just because I haven't done a video in a few days. And like I said, I'm currently in the process of moving and renovating a couple of condos, getting them ready for some long-term tenants. So like I said, it's going to be a little spotty over the next week, but I'll do what I can. So MJ Biz Daily reports SNDL closing 100 million Canadian flagship MJ facility in Alberta. So my home province here in Canada. So exactly 5 years after SNDL opened MJ cultivation facility in Olds, Alberta, the Canadian producer announces closing the enormous plant to enhance the competitiveness of its MJ operations segment. And we know that a lot of their focus is on retail for MJ and alcohol, right? Kramer says we have a complete bloodbath. Yeah, it's been a pretty brutal week, and that was something that I mentioned as well, that we could likely see more downside because of the broader market. I said that we had a target of around 400 on the S&P 500, and that was going to be headwinds, and there was a daily bear flag as well targeting about 405, and that lines up with monthly EMA 26 support as well on the S&P 500. So we could dip, in my opinion, down to around that weekly oversold area on the S&P 500, and that would put the DXY, the US dollar currency index, around weekly overbought. And that should mark a temporary bottom in the market. And then I think into the end of the year here, we're going to see a massive end of year rally. But I do think that we could see a little bit more pain ahead, unfortunately, in the broader market, which will be headwinds and more downward pressure on the MJ sector. Also, MJ MSO Curaleaf confirms more layoffs ahead of potential move to uplist to the TSX. So we know that they're looking to uplist to the Toronto Stock Exchange, and TerrAscend was the first MSO to do so. We're probably going to see that trend continue, and then we're going to see massive uplisting mania over the next 3 to 6 months, maybe potentially 12 months. I think over the next 3 to 6 months is realistic, where we'll start to see US MSOs start to uplist to US major exchanges, like the NASDAQ and the NYSE. Also, Sweetwater Brewing Company unveils fall craft beer lineup. So there's a whole new lineup here from Tilray and its subsidiary, Sweetwater Brewing Co. Again, this isn't to go into deep dive details, or we'd be here forever, and try to keep these videos as short as possible. If you want to learn more about that, you can check it out. Also, MJ Biz Daily reports 2/3 of Canadian consumers now buy only legal MJ, survey shows. So we're starting to see more of that pivot away from the black market, right? And it's just becoming more convenient. The prices are more often than not cheaper. The only segment that the black market, in my opinion, is continuing to thrive in is the edible segment, because we know we have that cap of 10 milligrams per pack. So that's something that people can, benefit from the black market, because they're able to buy, 100 milligram per pack, and it's a lot cheaper. So we'll start to see that dwindle, in my opinion, and we're already starting to see signs of this, and it's only going to increase. Also, Quebec's government MJ retailer SQDC appoints new CEO. So Suzanne Bergeron has been installed as the new president and CEO of Société Québécoise du Cannabis, governmental MJ retail monopoly in the Canadian province of Quebec. Also, MJ Moment reports that New Jersey regulators seek input on expanding MJ edibles to include infused drinks, baked goods, and more. So this is going to be a slow and steady approach, right? We're going to do the crawl, walk, run approach, just like Canada did. They unleashed, they released the regulatory changes, but it was only flower. It was like MJ 1.0, and then we had 2.0, which was the edibles and the drinks the next year, right? So something similar likely going to continue for the states as well, right? Well, and even alcohol, whenever it was introduced, right, it was slowly added. You couldn't buy like 90 proof moonshine or anything like that, right, initially, right? So, and then as we know, these are very enticing to children, so they definitely have to be careful and do it the right way, and take that slow and steady approach, like I said. Also, Irish citizens panel votes to recommend decriminalizing drug possession, but MJ legalization falls one vote short. So again, we're starting to see more and more countries, more and more companies, more and more states and provinces, really start to get behind this regulatory reform and medicine of the future. And it's just game theory playing out. Once we have a couple G20s, once we have a couple major, countries like Canada, Uruguay, I think is another one. Then it's just a matter of time, right? And the U.S. is never first or never last, because they have the biggest economy in the world. So usually they're somewhere around the middle, but when they decide to embrace something, they usually, leapfrog everybody else, just based on the sheer economic impact that they have and GDP. So Denver hits 500 million MJ tax revenue milestone, city data shows. So again, this is going to be not only medicine in the future, not only, recreational, alternative to whether it be alcohol or alternative to smoking and tobacco. We're going to see tons of jobs, tons of tax revenue come in from this new industry, and this industry is going to be huge, right? So this is just a testament to what this can really do. MJ Moment also reports that researchers identify previously undiscovered MJ compounds that give MJ strains their unique aromas. So the terpenes and all these flavonoids. And again, Biden just signed into effect the research bill. So we're starting to see more and more research. We're starting to see more and more studies and surveys and things like that, with regards to how this is impacting people's lives for the better or worse. But in most cases, I think we're going to really understand that this is medicine of the future. And it's not just, from a pure fun standpoint and recreational standpoint, there's actually some medicinal benefits here. Also, Trulieve announces progress on first ever pharmacy sales of low THC oil in Georgia. We also had Georgia begins low THC MJ oil sales at independent pharmacies. We also have the new House Speaker, so that there was thoughts that there was a whole bunch of candidates essentially, and the market was bullish and then bearish, and a lot of people were saying that this is why the MJ sector was selling off and pumping, but I don't really think that is the case. I think it was more technical based, and we had huge moves off of the lows, and this is just typical to see this, right? When we have a huge move to the upside, and we still haven't confirmed monthly uptrends. We're still looking for golden crosses on a lot of our names, and we're looking for those monthly uptrends to confirm. We're just forming monthly higher lows, which we know is the most likely scenario in this case. And then based on how much we ran, we have a ton of room to form monthly higher lows. So, kind of this mix up with regards to the House Speaker. Mike Johnson has opposed MJ reform. It might have added some selling pressure to it, but to be honest, I don't think that's what most people were banking on. That was kind of a catalyst that people didn't really even see coming as well. So I really don't think that was the cause for, a major cause for the sell-off. I think it was just the broader market being weak as well. And just the charts were saying that we were due for more consolidation. There was some news as well that CGC got an upgrade. Forget who it was from. I can't remember who gave them the upgrade off the top of my head, but that wouldn't really make sense for the whole sector rallying, right? Because ACB was up, CGC was up, Tilray was up like 10%, CGC was up like 20%, and then it came right back down again. But we know we had that bear flag down to about 50 cents on CGC, and it hit and actually dropped below that. I think it was 47.5 cents, and then we had a massive rally after that. But that was just because we had no resistance, right? So a lot of this is just technical based, and when we run, 200, 300, 400, 500%, you need to expect a pretty sizable pullback, and then based on how much MJ pulled back, specifically CGC, it shot up to the upside drastically. Also, Tilray goes green in switch to hemp packaging for some MJ products, and we're going to see the new hemp. We're going to see the hemp readies. So the new readies will have the hemp paper. Something similar is the darts from Organigram, the shred darts. Those have hemp papers as well. So we're going to start to see more and more. And this is great. Just another testament to, instead of using plastic and filling landfills with plastic and, damaging the earth, essentially, we can use hemp, right? Another form. Hemp has been used for, hundreds and hundreds of years for, different purposes, right? There's even, scales and things like that that are made out of hemp. You can make paper and you can make packaging, right? And it's very durable and economically sound, right? So it's better for the environment. And this is just a taste of what's to come. I think we're going to see a ton of more products specifically from the MJ segment in Tilray as well. So not just that new lineup that they had there for Sweetwater Brewing, but I think we're going to see a lot of new MJ products coming down the pipeline soon as well. So keep an eye out for that. Also, there was some news with regards to a lawsuit seeking equal treatment for MJ businesses. So federal criminalization of safe, regulated, interstate MJ legal in 38 states is unconstitutional and unfair to small businesses. MJ businesses are unconstitutionally prevented from getting small business loans, investments, unable to have normal banking relations, and subject to discriminatory taxes. So a coalition of U.S. MJ operators and investors working in state legal, medical, and adult use MJ markets today filed a lawsuit against U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. The coalition, represented by the firm Bois Schiller Flexner, I think that's how you pronounce it, seeks to enjoin the federal government from enforcing the Controlled Substances Act in a manner that interferes with the interstate cultivation, manufacture, possession, and distribution of MJ pursuant to state law. The lawsuit asserts that the federal government has no basis for enforcing the Controlled Substances Act against intrastate, state-regulated MJ operations. And this comes after HHS's monumental recommendation to reschedule MJ to Schedule 3. We're still waiting for a DEA response on that, which we could go over the next month or so, potentially, in my opinion. But I would agree, right? This is more politics than policy, right? This is more, and they do this with crypto, right? It's just because they want to slow the industry down. They want to let the incumbents catch up, right? Big pharma, big alcohol, big tobacco, and then, they basically release the shackles whenever they're ready. But in my opinion, this is more politics than policy and sound policy. This is just them continuing to do it. They did the same thing with the internet, right? At the beginning of the internet. Oh, it was for, what was that? I think last week when I did this update, rapid fire news, what was it? The president in one of the Senates, he said that, I can't remember, it was Mike Hoffman or something like that. I think he said that there was going to be like zombies walking in the street and like suicide rates were going to go up. And it's like, what? Well, that hasn't happened in Canada, and we're almost 5 years, we're over 5 years now. We just hit 5-year mark. And that isn't the case, right? And like people in the US, there's 38 states, right? And there's some that are full blown legal, right? You got like Nevada, like what's Colorado showing? They're not showing zombies in the streets. Like people are already getting it. It's just it's more regulated and it's safer. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So it's just, again, they did this with the internet. They said that the internet was for money launderers. They said it was for child, pornography. They said it was for criminals. And then, they were threatened by the innovation, right? And then before they could allow it to flourish and to really unleash the shackles, like I said, they had to get positioned, right? So, and this is just to help, your JP Morgans, the Morgan Stanleys, the Goldman Sachs, right? The Wall Street bankers and institutional and hedge fund investors, right? And firms, so that they can prepare, and they're all bought and paid for, right? A lot of these media companies are owned by big corporations, right? So it's all part of the plan. They did this with the internet. They did it when the automobile came out, right? With the horse and buggy. They did it with the light bulb when, the light bulb was invented. So it's just the way it works, right? And unfortunately, it is what it is. Also, recreational MJ stores coming to Switzerland as part of an experiment. So again, we're starting to see more and more countries that are very, very, high up there in terms of, just world power and, G20s. We have tons of, Thailand was also, I think they kind of dialed back their approach, but we're starting to see, Latin America is going to be a big one as well. We're going to see potential for Florida on the ballot. The vote for that is on November 8th, or the hearing on that is for November 8th. So we should get some information with regard to that in the not too distant future. And then, New York's a big one as well. Ohio potentially coming on the ballot as well. Aurora MJ to host second quarter fiscal year 2024 investor conference call. So the results for its second quarter fiscal year 2024 on Thursday, November 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So the company will report its financial results for the second quarter fiscal year 2024 after the close of markets on the same day. So keep an eye out on that. Also, 31 bipartisan House lawmakers push DEA to consider merits of MJ legalization as it completes rescheduling review. So again, we know that the DEA still has to respond to HHS's recommendation to Schedule 3. I did an interview with Morgan Fox, the political director at Normal. He said that he doesn't think that the DEA would sign off on this, at least not this soon. He thinks it could be quite a while. He said it would basically be a miracle, but sometimes miracles happen. And when you're in a multi-year bear market, like look at the bull market that happened in MJ in the run-up to February 2021 highs. That bull market lasted 6 months? And now we're in a 3-year bear market, right? And we're down 90, some names down like 99% from February 2021 highs. So it just goes to show you that the bull markets are very short-lived and very fast. And then the bear markets are very long, drawn-out, brutal processes, right? Where they just capitulate everybody, they bore the living hell out of you. And you start to question your investment thesis, or if this industry is even going to stand the test of time. They did the same thing with Amazon, right? Amazon dropped 95% after the dot-com boom, and there was tons of skepticism with regards to that, whether the internet was going to have long-term staying power. And imagine now, going back and looking and being, petrified and looking at what the media was saying versus now, right? So again, this is not new. They do this with every new upcoming and emerging and burgeoning industry. So we can just recognize it and look at what has happened in the past. And I can tell you from my perspective, I have not a care in the world about whether or not MJ is going to be here long term, right? This is medicine of the future, and it's helping people from a medical standpoint. It's helping people live healthier and better lives, and pain treatment and epilepsy, all this stuff, right? Also, Trulieve is opening a medical MJ dispensary in Marianna, Florida. So it continues to expand its footprint in Florida ahead of a potential Florida adult use ballot for 2024, right? So we could see this on the ballot for 2024 and then potentially take into effect in 2025. We know it's an election year this year as well. I think crypto regulation is going to get passed first, but then I think in the next elections, I think MJ is going to be at the forefront. Maybe it'll happen sooner, hopefully, but not holding my breath. Canopy Growth is also set to report second quarter fiscal 2024 financial results on November 9th. So again, we have the November 8th vote for the Florida ballot, adult use. And then we have Aurora on the 9th as well. We have Canopy on the 9th. So the audio call and webcast will be at 5:30 p.m. on the 9th as well. And it'll be after market close. So we could see that week of November 8th and 9th could be huge. So we just take a look at what that day is. That's on a Thursday, and then Friday going into the weekend. So this could be good. We got on the 8th. We got that November 8th is the vote for Florida ballot. So it's looking good. We also have Ohio governor attacks MJ legalization ballot measure, downplaying polls showing broad voter support. And I think it was the Ohio, wasn't it? Ohio Senate president that said that about the zombies in the streets. I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, in effort of time, I'm going to start to wrap it up. I see we have a couple people commenting as well. The market is corrupt. It's pure shorting and manipulation. Yeah, it definitely, it's almost as if it never even happened, right? This HHS recommendation. But you got to remember that a lot of that buying off of the lows, right? CDC hit all-time high record monthly volume on the NASDAQ. MSOS had all-time high monthly volume. That wasn't retail investors buying. That was institutional investors and hedge funds, in my opinion, and Wall Street banks that were buying that, and they were basically testing the market, right? You don't see an influx of retail capital coming in at the bottom of a bear market, right? It's usually at the top of a bull market where you start to see investors pour in, retail investors, and they use them as exit liquidity, right? But in my opinion, they were just testing the market. And like I said, we were still due for monthly higher lows, right? If we take a look at the Canadian MJ list here, so we'll just bring up CDC because it was the most volatile over the last several weeks. But yeah, on the monthly time frame, we're still in a monthly downtrend, right, with lower highs and lower lows. So again, we can't be confident that the bear market is over until we confirm a monthly uptrend. So again, what is a monthly uptrend, or what is an uptrend in general? It's higher lows and higher highs. But in this instance, we have lower highs and lower lows, right? So we're just forming another lower high right now in a monthly downtrend. So we need this higher low, which we're forming now right here, and then we need to break this high to give us the higher high. So we're very close to doing that. But again, this is kind of a good thing in my opinion, because we knew that we had to confirm monthly uptrends to be confident. So if you're looking for a long-term entry on MJ, a lot of names are starting to find monthly higher lows at the moment, and this could be a nice entry opportunity. You could even set a clear stop loss under those monthly lows, because if we drop below that, then it would be a monthly downtrend continuation. But a name like Cureleaf, for example, is a great example of what we need to do. We have the low, the high of the bounce, higher low. How do we know that was a higher low? Because we lost the low of the previous monthly candle, but it was higher than this low. So that's a low, high, higher low. And then on this candle here in September, we broke the high of the bounce, the previous bounce at 568, and then confirmed the monthly uptrend. And right now we're just coming back down to that 345 support. And we also had a daily bear flag on Cureleaf that was targeting, I think, 425, and it actually hit that. So you just take the measured move from the high to the low there, move it out to the 0.382 fib, and it says we were targeting it. It said we were targeting about 425, and we're hitting daily oversold, and we're actually hit a low there of 376. So sometimes we overshoot, undershoot. In this case, we overshot it to the downside, but we're coming up on key monthly support right now. As long as this monthly support here holds at 345, the monthly uptrend is still intact. So again, this is generally when most people get shaken out of the market, right? So retail is probably selling again when they bought up here. They were selling here, and then they bought here, and then they sold here, and then they bought here because, this time's different. And then we see, massive, look at Cureleaf just off the top of that monthly bounce to the low there, down over 52%. That's crazy, right? So low, high, higher low, and higher high. This definitely isn't retail making these, hundreds and 200% moves. Look at CGC, right? All-time high, record monthly volume. Off of the lows there, it was up almost 500%. So again, it's just to be expected, right? Same thing happened here, low, high, and we had a pretty big pullback. Same thing here when we confirmed this monthly uptrend. We went from 281 back down to 176. Then on this one, we went from $14 all the way down to $4, right? So you can have pretty sizable pullbacks, right? In this case, we were down 68%, and right now from the high to the low, we're down 75%, right? But the difference is this time we went 400%. This time here, how much did we go off of the low there? We went 700%. So again, when you have these move, and that was after the news that Constellation Brands was getting in, backing it, right? Getting an investment, billions of dollars. So again, this is to be expected. And again, we need monthly uptrends to confirm, to be confident. And the more names that do so, the better. AYR was another name that did it as well. So we had low, high, higher low, and higher high. So we're starting monthly consolidation again, losing the low of the previous candle, but we're just looking for a higher low compared to 107. Perfect time to DCA and lower my price average. Yep, absolutely. I actually bought MSOS the other day. I think I filled at 560. I think it's like 561 or something like that. But again, MSOS didn't confirm a monthly uptrend. It was still in a monthly downtrend. Lower highs and lower lows, lower low. And now this move, low, high, higher low. We're looking for a higher low compared to 478. So again, this isn't a bad opportunity to enter bullish and then set your stop below the low there at 478. You can do like 449 or, depending on how much capital or how much risk you want to absorb. This could be a monster swing trade. But we're just looking for this monthly higher low. So if 478 holds from here on this pullback, and then over the next couple months, if we come back up towards resistance and we break 988, then we confirm the monthly uptrend. And MSOS also had a head and shoulders, which is a bearish reversal pattern that was targeting 634, and it actually extremely overshot that. So again, we even lost the 0.786 fib there at 586, and we're basically giving back that whole move now. But again, while most of the market's getting tripped out, we're still holding that monthly low there at 478. And if we come back up and break 988, then we confirm the monthly uptrend, and we're probably heading back up toward EMA 26, which is around 14 and 15 bucks. Which a lot of names are starting to do so, right? If you take a look at Cureleaf, again, another one of the most stronger charts, it actually got above its EMA 26. So if MSOS does something similar over the next couple of months, which I think is a very high chance of playing out, then we could see around 14, 15 bucks. Psyched to get to see this live. Yeah, thanks, Skibby. Skibby. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the live stream, and everybody else as well. Again, I've been pretty exhausted, been moving, renovating a couple condos, getting them ready for tenants, and like I said, I had a pretty nasty fall, so I got through that, not feeling as sore from that fall anymore, and had a pretty big headache. I was eating Tylenol like crazy. It was like candy at one point, but yeah, I had a pretty nasty fall on a patch of ice, but feeling a lot better, and I've been moving like the last 3 days nonstop, so I just haven't had time, and I wanted to come on and check in with everybody. Hi, Rod. Any thoughts on the newly elected House Speaker, Mike Johnson? I heard he voted against MJ twice before. Yeah, so I went over that a little bit earlier. I don't really know much about him, to be honest. I really don't. I didn't even know his name before it came up. So I don't really follow politics. I just look at the charts, and right now the charts are doing pretty much exactly what we expected. We knew that to be expecting monthly higher lows. We were still in monthly downtrends, and we needed to confirm the monthly uptrend to be back in, to be confident that the bear market was over and to be back in a bull market. So realistically, I really don't care what happens, like from a House Speaker's perspective. Like, we've got there's enough to be excited about, right? Safer banking, rescheduling potential. There's Florida potentially on the ballot. We have Germany coming online, Switzerland, like all these other countries and all these other states and companies that are starting to back MJ reform. It's just a matter of time. So I'm not too concerned about, look what happened when the Dems took control of the Senate in the February 2021 run-up, and then look what happened after that. So everybody's like, oh, look, the Dems took control of the Senate. They're gonna legalize MJ, and then we had the most brutal bear market ever. So to be honest, when something seems bullish, it's probably bearish, and everybody's bearish on this Mike Johnson guy. Maybe it's gonna be bullish. So yeah. At the end of the day, it's just one person. It's just the face. It's just, if the agenda is that, if enough people in power want to get this done, they'll get it done, right? Whether through lawsuits, whether through other means. We just don't know how long it's going to be if we all had a crystal ball. But again, that's why we just look at the charts, and the charts were saying that we were likely due for monthly consolidation because we hadn't confirmed a monthly uptrend yet, given the fact that SPY was weak as well. We can just bring up that here in just a second. Just had to respond to a message there. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Wi-Fi's been weird at the new spot. It's not working on my phone. It's like in and out. And then my laptop works fine and the TVs work fine, but mobile devices don't, so I'll have to call them back again. I thought we fixed it today, but it doesn't seem like we did. But yeah, bring up the SPY chart here real quick. So SPY on the daily time frame was a daily bear flag. So you got your high, your low, lower high, and lower low. It was a very weak bounce. Anything under 425.61 was a daily bear flag. And then once we lost 417.80, we confirmed it, and the measured move was 405. And I've been saying for quite a while now that I expected 400 to come into play and potential for weekly oversold. We're getting close to weekly oversold now, and then DXY is getting close to weekly overbought. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here as well, which look what happened last time that happened. SPY went from about 431 all the way down to 342. Then we had the bull cross with the shorter term, the 12 period below the 26. When that cross occurred, price went from about 388 up to 457. So now we're seeing this bear cross again, which means we could, in my opinion, maybe even see a flush of 400. Everybody's going to think that the bear market is in and that this run is over, and then I think we could even potentially set new all-time highs into the end of the year. But we also have EMA 26 support there as well at 405. Don't get me wrong, I think we're going to enter a multi-year bear market and head toward monthly oversold on the S&P 500, but I think that the market is due for one more final rally and potential for a blow-off top into the end of the year and potentially spill over into to 2024. But in my opinion, I'm very bullish. I think that the Federal Reserve could potentially cut rates as well, and maybe they go back to QE instead of QT. So, and that would be something that a lot of people aren't expecting. And then I think into 2024, maybe into the spring, into May, sell in May and go away. Then I think that's when and Congress still hasn't been banned from owning stocks yet. So. Rod, what do you think the conflict in the Middle East and possible World War III happening affect MJ Sector and Tilray Brands? Yeah, so that's another wild card, right? Like we could see China and Taiwan, we could see Iran, escalations there. Again, there's always going to be something that scares people, right? Whether it be C-19, whether it be the China and whenever Trump was in office, the trade war, right? Then we had Russia and Ukraine. Then we have, while all of this is terrible and, the thoughts and prayers go out to all of those affected by this, at the end of the day, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be some sort of fear. That's what the market is designed to do, is to make you feel greed or to make you feel fear, right? So if you can just get away from feeling fear and greed and have a game plan and just basically look at charts. Charts help a lot as well. So whenever I'm expecting this, I don't need, people need a reason to say, why is the market down or why is the market up? The market just goes up and down. It ebbs and flows, right? It's like gravity, right? What goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up. And it's just the way the market works. It moves in waves, and just look at the zoom out. We've had tons of crashes before, but we just continue to the upside. But personally, I think we could potentially be entering a 1929 Great Depression era, right? The economy is not as sound as they let it on to be, and student debt, we have credit card debt. I think you need $400,000 in income to qualify for most homes in some of the most popular areas now. It's just not sustainable, right? And then the used car prices are through the roof. We have inflation at all-time high. It's not going to be good, and we're going to see more and more layoffs. Once you start to see big tech companies start to lay people off as well, that's when you're going to start to see fear come into the market. But check out the video, how I'm preparing for one of the worst market crashes in history. I did a video, and all of what I mentioned in that video still holds true today. So if you just go to the channel, go to videos, and worst market crash, how I'm preparing for one of the biggest market crashes in history. So I did this 7 months ago, and everything in there I go over the top 10 things I'm doing to prepare for this, and I go over all that in detail. So that should help. MSOS got hit hard. Yeah, as I mentioned, it was a head and shoulders on MSOS on the daily time frame, and we actually hit that and far exceeded it. Now we're daily oversold, coming off daily overbought. We had the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well. But again, we need monthly higher lows. So again, we would have liked to see maybe a higher low somewhere around that $6 area. And then here we are down, we hit a low of 513, almost back to the lows there at 478. But you got to keep in mind that we're still higher than 478. So that's a higher low. So now if that low holds at 478, and we come up and break 988 resistance, we're in a monthly uptrend, and we're likely going to see a multi-year bull market at that, in my opinion. With conflict and weak economies, is there BOC will start bringing the rate down? Bank of Canada will start bringing the rate down. If that scenario starts, we will see more upside in input keeping all of those things in mind. Yeah, exactly. I think we're going to start to see they held rates here in Canada steady, so kind of following the pause that we saw in the U.S. And then I think they're going to go back to printing. I think they're going to turn the money printer back on, and then that's going to send one more final rally. And then I think Congress being banned from owning stocks as well is going to mark a top. And then at that point, you want to be very, very careful and selective about what you're into. Maybe even hedge with a short position. Again, check out that video, how I'm preparing for one of the biggest market crashes in history if you're worried about any kind of geopolitical events that are going on in the world. Because it's still, even though it was 7 months ago, everything in that video still applies because the market hasn't crashed yet. So again, I think this is going to be a 1929 type style crash, and I'm not saying that just to be an alarmist or to spark fear or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, if the S&P 500 is accustomed to like 12% a year, and from the low of C19 we went up 125, almost 130%. Well, in 2 years we got 10 years worth of the average gains, right? So what do you think we're probably going to do? Some are calling it the lost decade, and like I said, a lot of people, myself included, I think that this is probably going to be a brutal 5 to 10 years ahead for a lot of different reasons. And I think there could be even attacks on the financial system as well, like cyber warfare, things like that. Power outages, they attack grids, and as we know, we can't really be going too extreme with the physical warfare because that gets out of hand pretty quickly. So I think they're going to resort more to cyber warfare, or they're going to target financial systems and power grids and internet, right? Things like that. But Starlink going up for a reason. I think it's all inevitable. But never let a good crisis go to waste, as the saying goes. And Warren Buffett always says you can't wait for a pandemic to buy. And then shortly after he said that, what do we have? We had the P word. So it's just funny how some of these, did he let that slip by accident? Maybe, who knows? I don't know. What was it, a coincidence? Who knows? But someone who's worth billions and billions of dollars, I'm sure he would have the inside scoop if there was anybody. Oh yeah, Intercure got hit hard. Yeah, lots of names did. Still holding. Got an email about this operation. It's operation in Israel. Yeah, Israel's going to be a big one. I think they're they import a lot of MJ. But all right, well, it was fun checking in with everybody. Like I said, it was a few days since I did a video, so I wanted to make this rapid fire news update. Not really that rapid, but we certainly fired off quite a few news articles. And like I said, I haven't been as active in the market or on the channel just because I'm still recovering from that nasty fall, and I've been moving over the last 3 days and still got quite a bit to do, and getting a couple of new condos ready for some long-term tenants, and also got my Airbnb. Yeah, it's like, wow, sometimes I wonder how how I get all this stuff done, but you just got to prioritize, and no pain, no gain, and yeah, there's no shortcuts to life. So yeah, just like keep pushing through it one day at a time. And it's definitely mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, but yeah, the reward at the end will be well worth it. All right, going to end it there. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Saturday and their weekend. If you could smash like, I would appreciate it. And these videos, when I cover like extensive MJ related videos, especially these rapid fire news updates, YouTube really doesn't like it. They don't promote it as much as my other videos, and they really don't like when you use that word. Or whenever they see it on the screen, or like if it's heavily used in the video, if that's the main focus, then usually my videos get flagged. So a lot of these videos, it's just basically me coming on and trying to do everybody a solid. And if you missed any news, I come on and fill you in, essentially, right? So thanks, Rod. Cheers. You bet. Thanks, Juan. No problem at all. My pleasure. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we shall see you again on the next video. I'll probably be spotty again next week, but I'll definitely be covering some of the earnings that we mentioned in today's video. And yeah, we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your evening. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. We'll see you again on the next video. Take care.